Rape culture is a huge problem on college campuses.
A rape culture that we need to really deal with. Sexual assaults are at epidemic levels across the country.
There's a rape culture. I hear that a lot, but the author of Who Stole Feminism, a book that says a group of zealots claim to speak for all women, says this rape culture charge is hysteria from a mob of bullies, and that's author Christina Hoff Sommers. So explain.
It's not an epidemic, and we do not have a rape culture. The idea of a rape culture means everything in society is reinforcing it and making it seem as though it's, you know, it's a legitimate thing to do. Of course that's not true.
The best recent example of the media mob feeding hysteria is this Rolling Stone article, which said at the University of Virginia, men routinely assault women. The article got lots of attention, but then what? It
was an absurd story, and the author, the Rolling Stone author, it's not that she made it up, but she believed a young woman who was telling a tale. It turned out to be a hoax.
She wanted to believe.
The hysteria around campus assault, the false information, the misinformation has been building for so long that we've reached a point where people are willing to believe anything. And that story was so implausible from the beginning. Any sensible person would have to doubt the way the story was told, and she didn't even get real genuine corroboration. She didn't really check her facts, and but for several days people in the media just believed it and publicized it and anguished over it.
It spread, and last year the president added to the hysteria about a supposed culture of rape on campus.
It is estimated that 1 in 5 women on college campuses has been sexually assaulted during their time there. 1 in 5. 1 in 5. We hear that a lot, but how believable can it be? At the allegedly horrible University of Virginia, in 2012, 0.46 sexual offenses were reported per 1,000 students. The next year, after lots of publicity about alleged rape, the number rose to 1.2. But it would have to be 200 per 1,000 students to make the 1 in 5 claim from the president true. Christina, the activists say, well, that's because most sexual assault isn't reported, and that's plausible.
The Bureau of Justice Statistics has done meticulous crime surveys and finds the figure is closer to 1 in 50, not 1 in 4 or 1 in 5. You can get what appears to be an epidemic if you ask you know, a non-representative sample of people some vaguely worded questions.
Yeah, they are vaguely worded, right?
Yes.
Like, have you ever been brushed up against?
The CDC did a study, and they called it sexual violence. If you said yes, has anyone ever pressured you to have sex by telling you tales or making you feel guilty? And that counted as violence. So they use these very broad definitions. The CDC? Yeah, I still don't understand how this passed as serious research, yet people people believe it. It's almost as though when students arrive at college, they're divided between potential survivors and potential rapists.
I once got a taste of the progressive student mob when I tried to do a 2020 story on the new definition of rape, because when I was in school, rape meant clear physical force. I don't argue that's the best definition, but today young men are called rapists if they have sex with a woman who later says, I was drinking, I didn't mean to give consent. That happened at Brown University, and a freshman boy was driven out of school because of that accusation. So I went to Brown to try to just ask students about it.
Get off this campus. We don't want you here.
I'm just trying to educate myself and other people with me.
I did a politically incorrect thing.
What's allowed?
To spark debate, I questioned the activists' broad definition of sexual misconduct.
There's appropriate behavior. We can't hear you with these people trying to drown us out.
When some did want to speak, the demonstrators righteously shouted them down.
So, can I ask you why you're screaming that?
TV hype! Rape is not TV hype!
They kept screaming, so I couldn't interview people. Eventually, they just ripped out my microphone cord. So this is a mob that doesn't even want to discuss the truth.
And history is one long example of the dangers of combining misinformation with moral fervor. And young women are bearing this label that they are survivors, when what happened to them, almost anyone with an ounce of common sense would describe it as something else. Panics do not lead to, they don't shed light. They create just confusion, and they cover up serious cases of abuse.